Hey, it's Mazzy, and I want to talk about Karl Wallinger, who just passed away yesterday on March 10th, 2024. He was the leader of the outfit, the project, the band World Party. It was really his solo project with various musicians over the years. Now, I need to preface this because I've been accused occasionally, and it's going to sound like a defense, and maybe it is, of jumping on a bandwagon when someone dies and showcasing their records for my own gain. Well, I don't even know what that means, my own gain. I will showcase an artist when they mean something to me and when their music played a pivotal part in my life for one reason or another. The first World Party record, Private Revolution, came out in 1986. And I remember so vividly having this CD and putting it in my car in 1986 and going on one of my very first portfolio shows when I started my own business in 1986 as a photography agent. And I remember it because I just got out of the car and I was at this ad agency presentation of showing photography portfolios of only the two photographers I was representing at the time. And I was talking to the art director, and we were talking about music, and he had some music playing, and he pulled it out, and it was, of course, the World Party album. He had a CD of this, and I was just playing it. And so we probably talked about 10 minutes about this record. And that memory is so vivid and so specific. It was like the beginning of my career as a photo agent, or very early on at least, when I went out on my own. And just this music has an association with that. Since I make these videos on YouTube and they're primarily about records and music, of course I'm going to showcase artists I like. And even in one of my It's the Music Stupid videos, I've showcased, I think it was Goodbye Jumbo from World Party, because I love this band. And the thing I've always said about this band, and I'm repeating myself again, but I think many of you probably haven't heard me say this maybe, but what I love about World Party, and especially Karl Wallinger, what a genius he was putting things together. And he made his records, all five of them, only five of them since 1986, sound like something very familiar and very influential, but very original. I mean, his records, World Party's records, sound like at times the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, the Beatles, especially John Lennon, Prince. There is an heavily influence of all those artists, in a way, boomer artists, if you will, but they have sort of a modern sound. I don't mean modern production techniques. In fact, I like that his stuff sounds very vintage, but very accessible and very, just very attractive, if you will. Now, Karl Wallinger came out of the Waterboys. He's a Welsh artist, and this album is my favorite album by the Waterboys, the final album with Karl Wallinger, and that is This Is the Sea. This is really, it was Mike Scott, it's really his project. And I'm sure with this being Mike Scott's band, Karl wanted something else and wanted to go in a different direction. Now, some may say the Waterboys were more original in their output and their style than World Party, and that well may be true, but it doesn't take anything away from the great records that World Party, Karl Wallinger made. But I do love this record. 1985, this record, and 1986, this debut comes out, Private Revolution. Totally into the psychedelic pop music, Brit pop, pre-Brit pop from the early 90s, coming out of Wales. But there's just wonderful hooks, wonderful production. These songs like Ship of Fools, It Can Be Beautiful, All I Really Want to Do, of course, that is the Dylan song there, and Private Revolution. There's sometimes a soulfulness to his music with a psychedelic British pop feel to it, and then sometimes a funkiness to it. So I just love this album, and I was all in. I think a lot of people will consider Goodbye Jumbo the masterpiece here. Put the Message in the Box. Again, it sounds, again, like Dylan and the Beatles combined. Some of his stuff is in the vein of a singer like Mick Jagger too. God Is on My Side, beautiful ballad. It could be again from John Lennon or Bob Dylan. Love Street, Sweet Soul Dream, and Thank You World. But again, just a really, really wonderful commercial. I mean, the commercialism at its best, like the Beatles were commercial, World Party is that. So he's someone who takes from these artists and is influenced by these artists, but twists it around and makes it his own. The third album is World Party. This is a different alternative cover than the original, at least in the States. I'm not sure when this one came, but obviously this was the original that I got on compact disc. Another beautiful, beautiful record of pop psychedelic masterpieces here. Radio Days, Sunshine, Give It All Away Reprise, and it starts with Kingdom Come. Just beautiful, psychedelic, if you will, Britpop. The one that was under the radar, because the earlier ones charted mainly in the UK and did pretty well in America as well, but he was never at the top of the charts. World Party was not that. But this wonderful album, this is Egyptology by World Party. I just love this record. This is, I think, 1997. This album came out. And again, one may argue and say more of the same. More of the same with that familiarity, but just really a beautiful sound. Hercules, which is a great kind of funky, soulful song. So he mixed all those things I said, soul and rock and funk and psychedelia, and just the best of what pop music can be. And what a great innovator, what a great producer. And it's kind of upsetting now that we've lost him. I've heard he's been sick over the years, that he didn't put more records out. 5 records in 38 years. Just sad. This came out, I think, in, was it 2006, I believe. This is the last album that he self-released on his own label, Dumbing Up. I don't know why any major label wouldn't have him, but I don't know that history. I really don't know the history of that. But again, more in that vein, but there's so much to explore. There's a picture of him around 2006, Karl Wallinger. Just really a sad loss in music. I saw him twice at the Great American Music Hall within about a 3-year period in the early to mid 2000s. I'm going to show two CDs. This is Thank You World. This is really an extended EP, and it has Thank You World, the album version, as a remix of It's Too Late on here. Another Thank You World remix has Sex, Nature, Girl. A wonderful cover of Happiness is a Warm Gun by, obviously, John Lennon, and a live version of Thank You World. So this is from 1991. And this, I want to show just in closing, this is Archaeology. This is a folio that came out in 2012, which is a combination of a daily planner and a music collection. So you have several CDs. I think there's 3 CDs in here in slips at the front and back. And then you literally have a day planner with illustrations illustrating music of the artist, the bands of the artist, when they recorded all the songs on this collection. And this is a collection of alternative records, works in progress, live cuts, interviews. It completes the picture of Karl Wallinger and World Party. Sad news today that of the death of Karl Wallinger and World Party. Thank you, World. And thank you, Karl Wallinger, for bringing us some stunningly wonderful records. So, and it's easy to pick up the entire collection. And I would suggest, he's definitely an all-in artist for me. Such wonderful music and so few releases in 38 years. Karl Wallinger, 62 years old. Mazzy loves you.